Thanks for checking out the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to see me play your deck, hang out with me in the amazing BoshNRoll community in Discord, access to my lists and sideboard guides before tournaments, book an individual coaching session, or just generally want to support what's going on here, check out the Patreon and YouTube membership options. For the finest Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, use code BoshNRoll for 10% off your order at coalesceapparel.shop. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. If you want to play what I'm playing, use my affiliate link to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com and play any deck anytime on Magic Online with a cardhoarder.com loan account. Thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back for another BoshNRoll video. Today, at the request of Patreon subscriber Heinz, I am testing for Eternal Weekend. Heinz gave me a dealer's choice to prepare for a tournament. That's a really clever way to support the channel because it lets me do what I want, but it also forces me to be serious. So this tournament prep dealer's choice. Thank you, Heinz, for sending me this. And it's just in time, too. This video will be releasing on Friday, the first day of Eternal Weekend. I believe it's December 9th. I'm recording it a few days earlier than that. But by the time you're seeing this, I will be probably seated for my players meeting or in round 1 of a tournament, possibly playing this very deck. The Patreon will have had my deck early, of course. If you want to know what I'm playing in tournaments, join the Patreon. But this list just did extremely well in Asia Eternal Weekend last weekend. I don't know if it got first place. It was not totally clear on the website who actually won, but this list did well, and it's one that I wanted to try. I played Vintage last week on the channel as well to start my preparation for Eternal Weekend. And I played a blue Tinker pile, which, I mean, I'm going to do. I love Ancestral Recall. That's probably my favorite Magic card there is. Tinker is completely busted. I love these powerful blue Vintage decks. I'm going to be doing something like this. And the difference between this deck and the one I played last week is the one I played last week was a dedicated Tinker deck with Hull Breacher and Time Twister in it. This one is also doing that, but it has Breach as well. This is Tinker Breach. And the really cool thing about Underworld Breach is this deck is otherwise not really a graveyard deck, so you don't want to bring in graveyard hate against it. Underworld Breach does not get Pyroblasted or Flusterstormed, which are two of the efficient counterspells played in every deck in Vintage. And turning the deck into a Breach deck is literally only 2 cards. You're already playing Black Lotus, you're already playing all the support cards, you're already a combo deck. You're doing all this Grixis Vintage stuff, but then Brain Freeze plus Underworld Breach wins the game. You could play more breaches than this, you could go more dedicated into the breach space, but I really like in Vintage doing multiple things that dovetail into each other. Like, we have all this artifact mana to power out a quick Tinker or a quick Planeswalker, quick Hull Breach or whatever, but these artifacts also make my constructs bigger on Urza Saga Beatdown. Urza Saga tutors for Manifold Key, which is half of the Time Vault key combo that my tutors or Tinker can find the other half of. While we're doing all that, Black Lotus feeds the Underworld Breach, where if I find Brain Freeze or Breach, I can tutor for the other half, and then go off that way. All the while, Hull Breacher, Opposition Agent, just poking away at my opponent for 3-point chunks. I love how much this deck is doing, and I think it's doing it in a way that is really natural. And these aren't really competing plans. They're all moving towards the same end, though they're all doing it in a different way. Another thing this list is doing that the one I played last week is not, is it has Sphinx of the Steelwind in the sideboard. The other one I tried had Blightsteel Colossus. And those are the 2 monsters that you want to tinker for in Vintage. Sphinx of the Steelwind got downgraded a little bit with the printing of Boseiju Who Endures, because before Boseiju, Sphinx was basically unremovable. And now there's an uncounterable way to do it in the green decks that it used to just beat on its own. We are a Pithing Needle deck, and they do need to have the Boseiju, and I think this is worth exploring, and this list is just checking all the boxes I wanted to. It has Breach, it has Sphinx, and it's in that blue Tinker wheelhouse. There's a good chance I end up on something very close to this at Eternal Weekend, and by the time you're watching this, it will be locked in. I might be playing around right now with the paper version of this deck. But first, we got to see how this league goes. Heinz, this is the Eternal Weekend Vintage Prep let's do it. I'm on the draw with a hand that's kind of slow. I do get top plus activate, or top plus pithing needle, or top plus mystical, needle plus mystical. There's enough going on here. I'm going to keep this. If our opponent is on shops, we're probably just dead. We have pithing needle if they're on bazaar. And if it's a fair blue matchup, we got enough play here that it's not a mulligan. I did say in the deck tech that the breach package just slides in. It's very small. It's not very disruptive to what the deck's trying to do anyway. But this brain freeze in my opening hand looks pretty bad. It is some blue deck. And they're starting on Preordain after a mulligan to 6. Bottom the Preordain. Good news. Flusterstorm, I like that. I'm gonna play Sensei's Divining Top off of Mox Ruby and just hold up Flusterstorm. They had the misstep. You only get one of those in this format. I could Fluster the misstep and have top in play, or I could try Mystical Tutor. I'm gonna let that happen. Now I can Flusterstorm if they go for Tinker, or I can Mystical and go for Ancestral. Opponent's got the second land. Oh, we're Jeskai. Okay. This is kind of the default control deck of the format. Jeskai, Xerox. Wow, that's fucked up. I mean, okay. That's still a spell that was spent. This deck usually isn't a Wasteland deck. It usually has one Strip Mine in it, which fetching a basic doesn't play around. I have a black card in my hand. My red cards are 1 Pyroblast, 1 Abrade, 1 Lightning Bolt, 1 Breach. My black cards are Demonic Tutor, Vampiric Tutor, and the Oppo in my hand. I think I want Underground Sea here. And let's see how far this goes. Unfortunately, if they let Mystical resolve and then counter what I get with it, I don't get a lot of action because I need the Ancestral to find my next land. They did spend their misstep, and the way they just cracked off that prismatic ending makes me think they don't have much going on. Dustro myself. And Flusterstorm, Pyroblast are super commonly played cards. Oh god. Well, they were right to hit my Mox, because that didn't go very far. But at least I hit a land, and my Ancestral resolved. My shields are down for this turn. Brainstorm. Okay. Mox Sapphire. Okay. Red Horde Arcanist. That is kind of a nightmare. Nothing I can do about it right now, though. Oh no, they are a Wasteland build? Okay, do you want to play with fire? Okay. Okay, a Mox or a land get me off the ground here. But otherwise, I'm in a lot of trouble. Buried quickly by Arcanist. Shit. Drew Force of Will after the Arcanist is already in play. And now we're in trouble. This card is banned in Legacy for a reason. It can cast Brainstorm or Preordain for free, and then start burying me. Main deck answer to this is a Lightning Bolt, and I don't have red mana. I'm not going to Force of Will this Preordain. They are working on low resources for now. I have Dig Through Time in my hand and a pretty stocked graveyard. Not that far out of this game at this point, but it is sliding away quickly. Bottomed both off the Preordain. Yeah, that one needs to get countered. That will kill me real fast. I'm going to pitch Brain Freeze. It gives up on my Breach combo forever. But it's the worst card right now, and I'm behind. I think I need to play for now rather than plan for a fantasy world. God. Wasteland. Yep. I mean, blue source just gets me going here. Just a land. Alright. That's not the land I wanted, but I will take it. Pithing Needle, I'll name Wasteland. Well, slow here, where they've already played 2 Wastelands, but Saga can tutor up a Black Lotus 2 turns from now, if nothing materializes before then. Really interesting thing is they can cast Prismatic Ending for free off of Dreadhorde Arcanist and hit a Mox, because those cost 0. Doesn't work on Pithing Needle. Just bottomed off of fresh Preordain, and then they're going to cast that Preordain again off of Dreadhorde. Topped that Preordain. Those are the first cards they've kept on top in 4 Preordains. That's bad for me. Vaccine Probe. Let's see what I'm working with. I have a lot of respect for these ultra fair blue-based Xerox decks. Jeskai and Rug are the ones I like the most, but Bug is respectable as well. if I'm not doing Tinker stuff, I'm going to be doing this kind of thing. There's the strip mine. Yeah, show me what's what. Vintage Magic, folks. Okay, let's just draw a land. Mox Pearl doesn't help, and it can get exiled by Prismatic Ending, so I'm just not going to play it. You can see the difference here of Dreadhorde Arcanist versus even, like, Ragavan. I would prefer Ragavan to Dreadhorde Arcanist in this situation. The card is just so good. We're about to see the Brainstorm. Blooded Strand from the opponent. Crack it immediately. What's happening now? Is it Ace? Dak? Narset? What am I getting blasted with? Time Walk. Okay. A pretty low impact Time Walk. They do get to attack with Dreadhorde Arcanist and Gataxian Probe me again. Or if they can somehow increase Arcanist power by 1, they can Time Walk again. Some decks can do that. Most of them can't. Not a common play pattern, but I have seen some of the wilder brewers in the format go after trying to put a +1 counter on Dreadhorde Arcanist or give it +3/+0 in haste. Do crazy stuff all at once. Cast the Probe, they saw the Mox Pearl, and the 4 cards they saw already. Get a turn. Emerald Pearl. These don't help me, so I'm not going to play them. They're currently out of things they can cast with Dreadhorde Arcanist. There is Mystic Sanctuary in this deck. They're probably going to put Time Walk on top. Okay, or not. Hardcast Gush. All right, just nothing with your mana. You got it. And this is why Dreadhorde is messed up. You don't need to start the turn with a cantrip. You just need to have one before you attack. So you can Preordain in your main phase with an empty graveyard, then immediately Preordain again. Preordain top-bottomed this time. We haven't seen their Ancestral yet, which is pretty lucky, but I've seen most of their deck at this point. It's in there somewhere. This Flusterstorm also just completely irrelevant at this point. They have so much mana. Aggressive Iteration, okay. Where's this one going? Grid Path Iconoclast. Yeah, that's a really good card that's going to win pretty quickly at this point. The one thing we had going for us is Dreadhorde Arcanist isn't much of a clock, but Third Path Iconoclast is a big one. Okay, Underground Sea, Mox Pearl, Mox Emerald. Let's go. Time to deploy the squad here. I could try to Opposition Agent and block Dreadhorde Arcanist with it. I don't think Ponder is where I want to be. They have Hardcast Force of Will if they untap. I'm just going to Oppo right now. If they're going to force me, I want it to cost 2 cards. Daze is sometimes played in Vintage. It's not very common because the Moxen kind of dump on it. Unlike in Legacy where you have to hit all your land drops fair and square. Okay. Force Pitching, Force of Negation. They did have Force of Will. I was right to do this on my turn. At least cost them 2 cards. Not that I'm inspired about this game state. And Dreadhorde Arcanist can Prismatic Ending one of my Moxen here. If they don't find something better pre-combat. The flashback. Treasure Cruise. Okay. That one at least can't be flashback by Arcanist, but they're likely to find something that can be. And the Prismatic Ending's still chilling. They're not without a target. Attacking, are they going to end? Looks like they are. It's a free roll, and they could do it. The only question is if they know if it works or not. Seems they know it works. Soul Ring. Start with my Ponder. There are 6 cards in hand with Flusterstorm and Pyroblast in their main deck. I don't have high hopes here. Oh, there's Pyroblast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm not dead yet. It's Vintage, baby. You can always still win somehow. Until you're actually dead. Daze, okay. Daze confirmed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Still at 1. If I lead on Soul Ring, that doesn't happen. Just need any spell in the end step, like Ancestral, Lightning Bolt, Hull Breacher, yeah, that works. And here comes the lethal attack. One thing about Jeskai, especially playing it on Magic Online, it's really bad at actually closing out the game. My opponent has 12 minutes and change on their clock, and I have 21 and change. Spent almost 10 minutes more than I did on this game. Which doesn't matter if they 2-0 me, but matters a lot if I get a game in between. Lightning Bolt, Pyroblast, Flusterstorm. I like all of these. Tabernacle's really interesting against the go wide part of the deck. Pithing Needle versus Wasteland. Do I want to take that a line? We'll see what I'm cutting here. I don't think I want Sphinx. They're probably a Towards the Plowshares deck. What is less good here? Breach is actually really good against this sort of deck. With their Flusterstorms and Pyroblasts, that is something I want to keep in the deck. Tinker is tricky because it gets got by Flusterstorm and Pyroblast and every other counterspell, but I don't really want to be a fair deck against them because they're built to be a fair deck and I'm not. I do still have the Breach line if I cut Tinker. And cutting Tinker seems crazy, but also, like, where am I going to put all these cards? Opposition Agent, Time Twister are easier cuts. I'll cut those before I cut Tinker and Citadel. I guess Citadel doesn't have to be cut with Tinker. Don't need to bring in the Pithing Needle. You want the Pyroblast Flusterstorm. Could back off a little bit on Force of Will, which in Vintage is a much bigger deal than it is in Legacy. 5 cards out. I get Tinker back here, which can still get Time Vault. I don't think that's enough to play Tinker for on its own. Get Pithing Needle. I'm down Oppo, Narset, Force of Will. I think Time Twister is worse than Narset. Okay, I'm going to try this. Mostly just Breach combo. On the play with a Vamp Tutor that I can protect with Flusterstorm and Time Vault. I'm going to keep that. Fetch land, Mox Jet. It's a turn. I'm going to Vamp for Key and just try to win. Mox Pearl. We know that casts Prismatic Ending in their deck. Verdane, you got it. I guess I could have... Oh, I'm holding up Flusterstorm. That's what's going on here. I was about to say I could have turn 1 Time Vault, turn 2 Vamp Key activate. That assumes they just don't interact at all in their deck that's built to interact. I'm going to Vamp Tutor here. At the Manifold Key. Maybe I'm supposed to get Ancestral and just try to go long, but they're built to go long better than I am. If I play Key, I can hold up Flusterstorm, Brainstorm. If I play Time Vault, yeah, I'm going to play Vault. This is the more mana-intensive half of the combo. With white up, they have to Force of Will to interact. We've seen Force of Negation in their deck in game 1. Oh, they have more than 4 forces. They have the Fluster to protect. Force of Negation pitching Flusterstorm. I am, of course, going to Fluster this Force off of Underground Sea. We've seen Prismatic Ending in their deck. This resolving doesn't mean it's going to be part of the game necessarily, but resolving it is step 1. Probably don't have many Prismatic Endings in their deck, like 1 or 2 total. Scalding Tarn, okay. Back Faden is live with this mana. I'll do that. Okay, where is better than Prismatic Ending? It's still bad, because I'm not just winning the game right now, but in the graveyard is better than an Exile. I'm a deck that can reach into its graveyard for stuff. I'm going to Brainstorm here. This Manifold Key is pretty bad. God. This is a tough situation. I am Brainstorm locked here. There's multiple turns before I get to really do anything. I put back Lotus and Key. I can Pithing Needle. I think I name Wasteland. Just a problem. Or I could name Dak. Don't really want to get wasted here. And here's my Academy. Lightning Bolt can hit a creature that they cast. Seen All Breacher and Dreadhorde and Third Path Iconoclast. Third Path Iconoclast. That's tough. Struggling with that one. That Brainstorm. All right. I'm drawing Key Lotus over my next 2 turns. I need them to just not really do anything for a while. Alpine Moon. Okay. You're going to turn off Academy they can see or hit Urza Saga for the future. Urza Saga it is. Good call. Clearly Academy's not doing much right now. Putting the Manifold Key into play when I'm not really doing anything else seems like a free roll, but if they have Meltdown or any such thing that destroys my artifacts, just putting it out here for Mox Pearl to pick off, or Mox Pearl, the Mox Pearl could cast Prismatic Ending. I think investing, especially with the Academy around, just having these artifacts around is worth doing. Got him! And it looks like they're working through a bit of a Brainstorm squeeze too. I am going to hide the Lotus. I don't want them to know about that one. I'm going to start drawing fresh cards this turn. I could have shuffled the Brainstorm and didn't, because that was in the Brainstorm cards. Okay, interesting. That's a good one. I'll make 4 mana leaving blue in the pool? Or do I Lotus here? I'm gonna Lotus. No reason to get Flusterstormed if you don't have to. Just getting Ancestral Recall and hoping it resolves. I can beat a Halt Breacher. Gonna get Pyroblasted anyway. Right. At least we did something. And the flip side is I could have been more patient with that and wait for them to tap low or do something else, but we're both kind of farting around right now without a lot happening in the game. I think pushing is fine if I have the ability to push like this. I could get Breach with this Demonic Tutor, and Breach could DP load it. Could win right now. Let's see. Still playing around Flusterstorm. Okay, I'm going to get Breach and go for it here. The whole win is present. And Time Vault's right there. DT for Breach is there. There's multiple wins being threatened by this Breach. Or DT for Freeze. Okay, how do I want to start this? I want to start with Time Vault. I exile Vamp, Delta, Time Vault, exile Vamp, Delta, and Merchant Scroll. Here's the first test. These cards don't go anywhere, they just go to the graveyard. Even if they Force of Will here, I could just Time Vault again. I can throw Time Vault onto the stack, what, 3 times this turn? Three cards in their hand, and I can cast this card 3 times this turn. Force of Will, pitching Hull Breacher. Okay. Countered. And then I'll make blue with Black Lotus. And, or do I want red? I think I want red. Because then I could put Lightning Bolt in the graveyard. Cast another spell. I want red. Red. If I exile the Lotus, that Dream is dead. If I exile Flusterstorm, I'm unprotected. Ooh. They have 1 card left. I think I get rid of the Lotus, DT, and the Brainstorm. Protect myself with Flusterstorm. Oh, I can't Flusterstorm. I don't have enough cards in the graveyard. This one's getting tight. Oh, I could Lightning Bolt. Nope, that doesn't work either. I guess this just has to work. All right. I'm just gonna cast my Time Walk again. Or Time Vault. Okay, cool. It worked. Yeah, that one was just a relentless Breach game, and that's what Breach does to a game. I'm impressed they didn't Force of Will it. They thought they could beat my Breach on once it resolved. That's wild. Okay, into the sideboard we go. They have 7 minutes to win a game, which have to go pretty fast in order to do that, and their deck's not really built. I don't think anything really changes here. We've seen Alpine Moon, which don't actually have a way to remove. I don't think I cut an Urza Saga, even if they show me Alpine Moon. I do have counterspells in my deck. Yeah, same thing, going back in. This hand is what I'm excited about. I have Ancestral, and I can protect it, and I'm getting ahead on mana. I'm not soft to Wasteland. Plenty of lands here. Yeah, have a look. What do you think? I could just get dumpstered, though. I don't have free counter magic, and my opponent just saw my hand. If there is a dumpstering to be had, they can present it currently. Just a little preordain. That's the flip side of these Xerox decks, is while they're really good at deconstructing vintage hands, they don't actually vintage themselves at all. Like Black Lotus is in the deck, you could have some impressive turn 1s, but there's no like anchor for whatever. Like that's not happening. Okay, this is tough. The Pyroblast makes things weird. I'm just gonna Delta go. There is a 3rd volcanic island in the list if I need to Pyroblast this turn. I've seen Flusterstorm, but I'm not gonna run out Volcanic Island into Wasteland against a deck that we've seen has multiple Wastelands, Strip Mine, and Daze in it. Their last preordained bottomed, by the way, if I didn't say that. This one top bottomed. Volcanic Island go. I could push the Ancestral through right now. I could resolve the Soul Ring and start building out here. Ancestral right now is not even that good. I could also Ponder right now. I think I want to invest in the Soul Ring, though. Because even if I push Ancestral through right now, there's a good chance I just go to clean up and discard one of the cards I drew. And if they have to play the whole game leaving up counter magic for Ancestral that they've seen, then it's kind of like I've wastelanded them. Speaking of, that's kind of why I wanted to invest in the Soul Ring. Having the ability to waste me and not doing it, I smell a Hull Breacher. Just drew the 3rd Volk. Thing. Don't need that right now. Probably going to Ancestral on their turn or in response to a Hull Breacher. And now their clock has drifted under 5 minutes. I still have 14 minutes on mine. That's what I was talking about all the way back in the middle of game 1. Storm. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, the Breach Line letting you board out Tinker in matchups where it's not reliable is a huge plus to this style of deck. Do I want to start a fight right now? Yeah, I'll Ancestral. I can pay for Flusterstorm. I can Fluster Pyroblast. I can Pyroblast a Force of Will. Or they can just let my card resolve. And I am going to have to go to cleanup, is what I was concerned about. But it's not a huge deal in this case. I think I discard the Jet. I could just dump the Saga, because we've seen the... Yeah. I'm just going to play normal Magic. I'm not going to let them get me with Alpine Moon or Wasteland on Urza Saga. I think if I just build out normal mana on a normal game plan, the Jet protects me from Wasteland on my Underground Sea that the Delta's representing. I believe I'd rather Pyroblast this card than Lightning Bolt it in play. That one's gone. That's a lot of artifact mana. I'm going to start with Sapphire and see if I can get a Ponder in. Where this goes. Brain Freeze, top. Top's pretty sick. I don't really care about Brain Freeze. Sensei's top, get after it. And I'm going to cast Mox Jet. Play my land for turn and Demonic Tutor. Flusterstorm gets the hell out of me here. But I can Fluster back. Or I can just have this. What do I want to do with this? I can try to protect myself. I can try to beat up and win this game. I could just Time Walk right now, spin top, and see where that goes. That actually does not seem bad. Put Time Walk in my hand. And let's take a walk. And I can use Flusterstorm to push the Time Walk through. Get an extra turn after this one. I'm going to spin top and then go into my extra turn. Underground Sea. Have a look. Did this Gambit pay off? Not really. But Force of Will is not a bad card. I'm going to put the fetch land on top in case I don't want the Force. Spin top again while we're chilling here. Thing Needle. Yeah, I'm just going to put Force of Will on top. I can draw that if I need it. I can get rid of it if I don't want this stuff. And send the turn. 3 minutes on their clock. I have enough mana to Force of Will and Lightning Bolt and Flusterstorm. Time Walk, I don't care. They can Mystic Sanctuary and Time Walk again, but they're not even doing anything now. Alright, yeah, they're just exploring. And yeah, that's pretty far away from relevant. I'm going to draw the Force of Will. And then rack my fetch. There's one card I didn't know about, but I knew about the other two, and I know I don't like them. My top 3 here. Pyroblast and Hull Breacher are both good cards. I think I'd rather have the Pyroblast on top. Safety first. And then I can set up Hull Breacher with protection next turn. Got a Hull Breacher of your own. I'll Lightning Bolt it. I'm going to get this out. I'm not going to mess around with it at all. Oh, goodbye. I can Wasteland. The Mox Jet means they still can't take me off black. They can take me off red. It's just tough because there's a Pyroblast floating on top. I'll float a red. I can float it away. It's not a big deal. I can still cast Force of Will this turn. Taking me off red. Got it. In the end step, I'll move that Hull Breacher to the top and get rid of this Pyroblast. That one is far as possible away from helpful right now. And just pass the turn. I'm not going to spend top in my main phase because Hull Breacher's a blowout on that. And with the 6 mana that I have, I can Force of Will and Flusterstorm. Step, spin my top. More red cards. Okay. And right now in their end step, I'll test them with a Hull Breacher as untapped. I'm not going to cast this Time Vault. I'll attack. I'll offer a trade. Yep, just holding up my 2 counter spells now. They're shut out of cantripping. They could have answered this. I feel like they would have. Red Horde Arcanist. That doesn't really do anything with Hull Breacher in play. Ox Emerald. Yeah, the Wasteland's taking me off. Red is tough. All three of my Volks are in the graveyard right now. Deck with Hull Breacher. My creature's bigger. And continue passing the turn. I've seen Dak Vaden in their deck. I'm not just going to hang this Time Vault out there. Okay. And they either can't do anything or realize they can't win in 52 seconds. I believe I'm ahead here. It could break the other way. They have to get a removal spell through Force of Will and Flusterstorm, but Hull Breacher is holding the fort here pretty well. Yeah, just settle in, sideboard in a smart way, and that was pretty clean. That was about as fair and long of a vintage game as you can get. On to the next round. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and every other format you'll see on this channel. They have multiple customizations so you can view your deck how you want. Text view, stacks, grid, custom grouping by type, subtype, color, light mode, dark mode. However you want to see your deck, they can provide it for you. My favorite feature is you can choose your set printing, make the deck look exactly how you want it to. The deck screen features expandable sections that show you what tokens your deck makes, your recent change history to the deck, stats about mana curve and opening hand distribution, mana cost distribution. You can deal out sample hands and even play test the deck. Island Ponder. You know I'm keeping this one. This site has everything. Follow me on Moxfield.com to keep up with decks I'm playing for the channel and what I'm up to in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the draw for round 2 against turn 1 Glistener Elf. I hope that's what you're doing. My hand, I'm not afraid of a 1-lander with Sensei's Top and some free interaction. I don't like this Bolas' Citadel rotting in my hand. I think I'm still going to keep this, though. In Force of Will and card selection is pretty good vintage start. Thanks. Oh. Force pitching. I think I'm pitching Narset here. Hull Breacher is Narset draws cards where Hull Breacher just hangs out, but power and toughness might be better than loyalty and card advantage in this matchup, especially if they follow up with like anything. Now I have to decide if I want to put Top into play or cast Vampiric Tutor. In Vamp for Black Lotus gets me still nowhere. Yeah, the Citadel in hand is a beating. I would have liked this hand a lot more against Fair Blue than against Shops, but here we are. It also might not be actual Shops with Thorn of Amethyst. This could be some White Stompy initiative nonsense. This land, we were correct to play around that one. Golos, disappointing. Yeah, this is where I would want to vamp for Tinker and win, but my hand was not capable of doing that. The Force, the Flusterstorm, the top, all that's blue matchup stuff, and we're just getting shopped. I'm gonna have to... Is there even anything I can vamp for here? Probably just Ancestral and try to get something going before we're dead. Yeah, that feels bad, but it's what I got. Here, Tutor. Can't even get my Abrade or Dak because don't have the mana. I have to get Ancestral and just hope it produces mana and stuff to do with it. Ancestral Recall, targeting me. Well, I found the Black Lotus, which is the other thing I was going to tutor for. I could... Hull Breacher doesn't do anything. I could Time Vault plus Top and try to make something happen. But they have Wasteland. They're about to see that I have nothing going on here. They're not actually constricting me right now. But, alright. Time Vault plus Top it is. It's top. Time Vault. Off you go. And damage from their Mana Vault. The Wasteland, I can't even spin top my upkeep. I'm not going to get an upkeep. Yeah, Wasteland me. Show me who's boss. There is a cool trick I learned the other day, where if you choose to skip your turn with Time Vault, your opponent doesn't have a chance to activate Urza Saga before it's their turn again. And you can just burn off a whole chapter of the saga, and they go straight to chapter 3, and they don't get that construct. Crucible of Worlds. Okay. They were not headed in that direction anyway. X-Parasite. Oh, baby. All right. Just going on over there. I'm going to draw for my turn and hope it's good. I'm not going to skip a turn here. Yeah, we're dead. Yeah, we don't have to keep doing that. Already burnt off the Lotus. They got Crucible looping here. Did not get the start I needed there. Okay, on the play, Bolas' Citadel is better than it is on the draw. Urkel's Recall, absolutely for this matchup. Alpine Moon and Biforce, or Biforce definitely for this matchup. Needle and Alpine Moon are in the maybe pile. Sphinx is in the maybe pile. Things that have to come out include Pyroblast, Flusterstorm, Mental Misstep. Vaccine Probe is not important either. And it's not nothing. Knowing what you need to sequence around is good. But if I can get these other cards in, I'd rather do that. This is 5 out, 6 in right now. That's not enough. Opposition Agent, they are a Golos deck. They are a Saga deck. They are doing some searching. Doing a quick pass to see if there's any hyper embarrassing cards still in my deck. Hullbreacher and Narset are not as good as I want them to be here. I do want to play to my busted draws with Bolas' Citadel on the play. I'll reconsider it on the draw. I want all my tutors. Breach is a lot worse against shops than it is against other decks, but it's still fine. This Lightning Bolt also has text against shops, and do I have 2 more cuts? I guess question. Maybe Narset goes out, and I think I'm gonna just not bring in the other bolt, bring in all the obvious cards and the 3 less obvious cards. Don't have room for the tier 3 option. Got the first 2 tiers in. This has Demonic Tutor and Force of Will, which are things that I like, but this is not going busted. It has a Braid, but I don't have a land that can cast Demonic Tutor and a Braid. What would this hand look like? Pithing Needle, Wasteland, go. Force your Sphere. Cast Demonic Tutor for Tinker. Hope to draw land. This is distressingly fair. It's so close. Okay, I am going to keep this, though. This is right on that line. Worst hand I'd keep, best hand I'd mulligan. The Needle on Wasteland. Let's get that out of the way. And the Needle is a card I can sacrifice for Tinker. That's part of the equation here. The same hand without a stackable artifact is a mulligan, I think. At the shop. First for a Spyglass. Fuck. That's going to name Flooded Strand, and then we lose. But I lose if they follow up with and who put a land that taps for 3 in this format? I guess I could play around Spyglass by fetching for Underground Sea and using that to play Pithing Needle. Then I don't care about Spyglass. Yeah, now they get Sphere, which at least I get to develop under, but still feels really bad. That feels a lot better. I'm going to pass the turn here because I can't cast any spells I draw anyway. I think I start with red to turn on a Braid. When I crack this Flooded Strand. Yeah, got him. We'll see who got who when they just cast Golos right now. Wait, they can't Golos right now. That costs too much. Lodestone Golem. Hate that. Volcanic Island and Ancestral Recall. Now my spells cost 2 more, and they have a 5-power creature. Academy's usually good, and I can Lightning Bolt. Alright, we're getting there. Slow and steady. Doing stuff. Saga's better than Academy in this spot. They both cast Lightning Bolt, but Saga is a game plan on its own. And the Lightning Bolt opens up my mana for a Braid on the following turn. It makes me so happy that Lightning Bolt is just a Vintage and Legacy staple. This beautiful card, perfect card designed on the first try by Richard Garfield. Not taking 5 here. Get rid of this thing. In the graveyard. What's the next follow-up? Maybe nothing? Maybe pass the turn? Locked onto your own sphere? Please? Got Revoker. Right. Revoker names non-lands. Saga is still alive. It could name Mana Vault or Black Lotus here. Backvaden. That's a good call too. Entomb. They've got more spells. And Crucible of Worlds. Alright. This Needle on Wasteland is doing a lot of work right now. Super cool thing going on here is making a construct with Urza Saga makes extra mana out of Academy. Hope they don't have strip mine or a way to clear Pithing Needle. And I have a choice here, depending on what they do. I can do the Saga thing and make some constructs, or I can just abrade Sphere of Resistance, untap, and try to win. X-Parasite. Oh, that's annoying. Okay. I think they can kill my... Or no, they can't kill my Saga. They can just reset it. All right. I don't think I care about that, actually. Now's the choice. But I can do the abrade thing whenever. Get on this board. Another red source. Now I can really do the abrade thing whenever. I can tutor Manifold Key, Mox Jet, or Black Lotus are the choices that I think are reasonable here. I think I just want Manifold Key. Oh, I have black mana in my hand. I'm going to get the key. Can I just win, though? I can just win. It might take a turn. I'm going to get key. And then I have 4 or 5 mana. That's enough to DT and play. Or not enough to play the Time Vault. Attack for 4. And my plan is to win next turn. Holding up a big ol' abrade. Plenty of mana coming out of the Academy to deal with that. Another Revoker. That's annoying. But also fine because I have the abrade. That one's going to name key. Manifold Key. Now in the end step, I abrade that Revoker. Then untap to all my mana. I can DT Time Vault activate. Easy squeezy. Underground Sea. Demonic Tutor. Time Vault. Plenty of mana to do what I need to do here. 1 card in their hand. Okay. Alright, they're killing themselves in response by activating Hex Parasite a bunch of times. Fair enough. Styling for the camera. And they got 1 activation left here to die. There it is. Okay, cool. Just a slow and steady hand there. Don't know if we'll get away with that again on the draw, but that was solid. Lightning Bolt overperformed there, and we saw a bunch more creatures that died to it that game. I definitely want the second one in. I think Hull Breacher is the card that should leave. Time Twister's a lot worse without Hull Breacher, but I think it's fine. Tabernacle versus Shops is kind of interesting. If they do have kind of a go-wide multiple Revoker start, Fisher's Workshop can't pay for Tabernacle, and Ancient Tomb hurts them when they pay for Tabernacle. I don't think that's a real plan, though. Not without actual mana denial in my deck. I'm off that. Just wanted to consider it before I said no. Here we go. Oh, wow. A triple Urza Saga hand. I don't think this is the way. It is an accelerated Saga. Like, I get the Saga on 1 plus Mox Jet, and then start activating Saga turn 2. But on the draw against the deck with 5 strip mines, sometimes they have more. They also play Ghost Quarter. I don't think this is a keep. And it's a bold keep. It also doesn't require really casting spells. I'm going to keep this for science. I'm testing for a tournament now. I want to know if this is something that works against this deck or not. Immediately punished. Full ring. Maybe without my mental misstep. Sphere. It. Okay. Oh, that was actually a great draw. Now I get to drop out 2 mana rocks this turn, get ahead of the second sphere as well as the first one. And I am going to offer up Urza Saga on the altar of this wasteland. Hope that the sphere plus them losing a land to wasteland is a cost they aren't really set up to take. Wasteland has been fired. Your own Saga. Okay. They have taken Saga Supremacy, and if they... Second sphere. Okay. If their Saga is ticking up and they play Wasteland and I don't, there is some beats here. See if they have more Wastelands. If they don't, we're going to have kind of an interesting game. If they do, we will not have an interesting. If they Ghost Quarter me, I can Mystical Tutor for Urkel's Recall. Just get that set up. I hope they just don't have any of that. But if they do, no, if they Wasteland, they're fine. I'm going to say if they do anything, then they don't get to make constructs. But all these things are free. That's how Shops works. Land drops. Lyrian Academy is not Wasteland, but it is horrifying. Seem to be just passing the turn. I like that. I love when Shops passes the turn. And when I draw Urkel's Recall, just completely unrequested. I don't think I want to invest in the second Saga yet, or the third Saga. I'll wait until I have some stability and then turn around and fight back. That's how I'm imagining it anyway. And I'm going to use my Saga in response to their sack and search, because if they get Pithing Needle and name Saga, then I don't get to do Saga stuff. That's a bummer. Okay, let's see what comes out of this thing. I don't even know if they play Pithing Needle, but with a Saga package, feels like you'd probably want one. Seen that Hex Parasite a couple times. They could just get like Mana Vault and jump some giant creature into play right now. It's Parasite confirmed. Okay. Are they gonna take counters off my Saga so I don't get to search? Or do they have the next Saga lined up? I am very curious about this card. It's a card that was on my radar immediately when Urza Saga was printed, but haven't actually seen do anything since that point. Right, they have a backup Saga. That makes some sense. Mana Vault was already in their hand. That's why they didn't search for that one. And some gigantic thing, Lodestone Golem. That makes Herx cost 5, but I do have it. I think I just take 8 here and then try to do stuff. Still have their land drop if they surprise hit me with a Wasteland now after all this. Not going to be cool. Okay, they took a counter off my Saga. It still knows how to make constructs, but it's not going to poop out a Soul Ring this turn and get ahead of their stacks. That's why they would do that. It also means it doesn't die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I can Herx. It kills the constructs forever, but they can just redeploy the other stuff. I have nothing to dump here. I would prefer to Herx in the end step and just untap and go off, but that's not going to be possible given the setup here. I'll probably Herc in combat. Oh no, that's not even good, because then they get to drop a construct. I just need to Herc now. I don't like that. Yeah, I think I just need to go now, and before they can float mana and make a construct. Yeah, if I was going to do this, I should have done it on my turn and attacked for 3. I just missed a bunch of damage. And they can redeploy most of this, but at least the 8/8s are gone. Doing it in their upkeep rather than their draw step means that Hex Parasite doesn't get any value on the way out. Because if they knock a counter off their Saga now, then it won't learn how to make constructs. So they have Soul Ring, Mana Vault, Spheres, and Academy. Most of this can just come back out right now. Hex Parasite is free under the Academy. Yeah, when you have to Herc to stay alive rather than Herc to win, it feels so much worse. But at least my Saga is doing stuff here. We're keeping up a little bit. Grinding back in. Oh, you drew Golos. Okay, sure. Just grab another Saga here. Do we get Wasteland and get that going? We have currently access to 4 mana, which can replay one of the spheres, but the second sphere will make the first one cost 3. They could also just Lodestone. Yeah, I'm bummed out I missed that 3 damage. I should have thought about that sooner. Urza Saga was the fold that I didn't consider. The Hex Parasite and floating mana and making a construct after the Herx resolves. Their hand right now is Lodestone and 2 Sphere of Resistance. They can cast one of those spells, it might as well be Lodestone. That is my assessment of the situation, at least. We'll see if they agree. Or they could Sphere and do some number of Hex Parasites. That doesn't seem great, though. Unless they're really worried about me tutoring with Urza Saga. And Sphere plus take counter off my Saga makes a lot of sense. Okay, looks like we're getting Sphere and Hex Parasited. They could Hex Parasite me and you. Take 4 life. Got me for 1. And are you going to do yourself for 1 as well? Yeah, all these Ancient Tombs and Hex Parasite activations, I'm really bummed out. I missed that attack for 3. Larian Academy, you don't say. That's a card that I'm a fan of. Do I put it into play right now? We know they have Lodestone and Sphere of Resistance. I can activate, make a construct, and then have 4 mana left over. Or I can activate, make a construct, and a 3 mana left over. Or gets me Hull Breacher. I don't even know if that's the thing that I want, but it does give it to me. And they tutored Inventor's Fair instead of... Oh, Inventor's Fair gets Crucible. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Goes into the Wasteland phase of the game. Then they have to decide if they want to take out Saga or Academy. I think I'd rather have Academy around. I'm going to play my other Saga, try to get wide around this wasteland, and pass the turn. Mana Vault's going to start hurting them too, but Inventor's Fair offsets that. If they stabilize at 3, I'm going to lose my mind. Saga triggers on the stack. 1-2, make a construct. 3-4, activate. They're kind of, if they make a construct, they're not going to be able to Crucible, if that was their plan. So Academy taps for 6 once they make the construct. 6. Floating. Yeah, they can absolutely. Oh, they're hexing. Okay. That takes them off Crucible. I think. Oh, this is so hard. That sucks. Okay. I'm gonna activate my Saga. I'll choose which of the 3 make a construct abilities it has to activate. And then they get to search here. Yeah, you get to machine gun search with Hex Parasite every turn. And then you can decide whether you want to make a construct or not. A fold key. Oh no, are you also a Time Vault deck? Am I dead? Combo shops? Or is this just mana with Mana Vault? I guess we're going to find out in a second here. They've used their Inventor's Fair. Now we find out if they're a Time Vault deck and we're dead. Would make sense. Yep. Okay. And me without interaction. You can easily untap their Mana Vault. There's no Mana Crypt in play. There's nothing I need to play out to here. If they go for the Time Vault, which I imagine they will. That's it. Like that attack for 3 didn't matter. Good news. I hope they get greedy and try to put some more spheres into play first. Nope. Why would you ever do that? Yeah, I'm dead. Okay. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Never got to punch through the gap the way I wanted to. Had to use Hercules on defense instead of offense. Notable, though, if they had not won the game this turn, I have Mystical for Hercules for attack you for 10, which is their life total. And yep, just didn't get to execute it. That game was really close, and having multiple Hercules recalls in the blue deck is really important to me. Okay, tough beats, GG's. You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7 Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7 Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better. I'm on the draw in round 3 with side of the deck we haven't seen yet, the Hullbreacher side. I'm going to keep this. This is a lot of fast mana and accelerated Saga. Turn 1 Hullbreacher. Force of Will back up. Do it. Oh no. Green mana. Collector Oof. That's some shit. I'm not prepared to play a game where Collector Oof is involved. I'm going to pitch one of the Hullbreachers to one of the forces and keep one of each back. I don't know which one I'm going to need more over the course of this game. Another Saga. Do I just want to get Saga running? Oh, I don't have to choose, right? I have a broken vintage hand. For some reason in my head, I had to choose between Hullbreacher or getting Saga moving, but that's not even the case. Get it all. Force of Vigor could be a problem. I have another Force of Will, but if they keep going in here, we'll have concerns. Don't know what this is yet. It could just be bug. Okay, it's some red-green rural magic cards. There's a lot of Hate Bear, Collector Oof, Null Rud kind of shit that happens in this format. Ancient Grudge. Huh. I don't like that. I think I have to force this on the way back down. That sucks. But getting Urza Saga running seems pretty effective against whatever's happening to me here. Pass the turn. They want to let me take damage before they go after my crypt. Fair enough. Another force. They let me into my draw step. I like going to the upkeep, seeing if you can get the 3 damage, but going into the draw step seems actually bad. I'm going to force pitching Force here. I'm going to keep Hullbreacher in my hand. I think as a standalone magic card, Hullbreacher is going to do more than Force of Will without a backup blue card. And now at least one construct is going to get made here. Gaea's Cradle with no creatures. Good news. And let's get constructing. Okay, we have made it to my turn. I'm going to get another construct here. Won the flip again. Untouchable by Mana Crypt. Oh, Time Walk, what's up? Going to make another construct. Then tutor. My blue Mox is already gone, unfortunately. I could get Black Lotus and fire off this Time Walk. That's pretty aggro, but I don't hate it. I'm going to get Black Lotus here. And then attack for 4. Then I'm going to Time Walk. Wish I had one more mana kicking around to also make a construct here, but I don't. Just pushing over the finish line. There is a finish line to push over. Lost a flip. I am unlucky and cursed. My opponent is about to take 10. We're at just 15. I think I want Say's top here. That will at least give me more options if I don't get over the finish line with what I'm presented here. I'd be surprised if they suddenly had a spell, though, after taking all this damage and letting all my sagas rip. What have they been holding on to this long? Okay, endurance. Fair enough. That's cool with me. I wish they'd put my Mox Sapphire back into my deck. One activation earlier. I actually do lose to Ancient Grudge here. But alright, we did it. That was a balls to the walls, double force of will. Mash it through kind of game. Sphinx of the Steel Wind coming in. Lightning Bolt for Collector Oof seems relevant. Pyroblast, not going to find a target. Mental Misstep. I'm sure this deck has Pyroblast in it. Flusterstorm, we've seen Ancient Grudge, I expect Pyroblast. In Endurance, so maybe the Breach combo is not great. They're going to have Force of Vigor, which makes Bolas the Citadel not great. Also, Alpine Moon, Bifrost, Pithing Needle. This is probably a Wasteland deck. I'm just going to go light, though. This is what I was talking about in the deck tech and in round 1 of just vintaging people. I'm going to cut Gitaxian Probe and Pyroblast for Sphinx and Lightning Bolt, and that's all I'm going to do. And I'm just going to go broken. Or at least that's my plan. Turn 1 Time Twister with Force Backup. Keep. Okay, we've got an Ignoble Hierarch. Fair enough. Let's see if going broken can get me where I want to go. I can go Mox Pearl, Black Lotus. I think Volcanic Island's better than Underground Sea because they have lightning bolts. They also have tutors. That one's kind of close. Okay. I'm gonna lead on the Volk. Mox Pearl. Back for blue. The blue in the pool by tapping the Pearl. We're gonna do the twist. And my hand is completely broken. Tends to be. I can Mox Jet, Demonic Tutor. Should probably brainstorm first, get my shuffle off the DT. I don't need to tap this, I have blue in the pool. This also gets rid of Sphinx of the Steel Wind. Not find a Force of Will. I'm going to put back Sphinx and Volcanic Island. And I'm going to tutor for Tinker. Pass the turn. Yeah, I think I want Tinker here. Yeah, Tinker for Sphinx is a low resource way to push through this. Even if they have Collector Roof or Ancient Grudge, I can still shove that. And I just gave them 7 fresh cards, which they had no choice whether to mulligan or not. Oof has arrived. Guy's Cradle. Bringing a Tarmogoyf. Okay. Impressive stuff. I can Mystical Tutor for Lightning Bolt. And then win the game. I play this Manifold Key. Or is Sensei's top better? I think I want Manifold Key. Pyroblast is a concern here. Right, Arbor, they have 6 mana. 4, 5, 6, yeah. A lot. Could just get Natural Ordered or something here. Or Meltdown. Golden Mirror Breaker, that one's cool. Attacking for 4 right now. Scavenging Ooze, don't care about that. I think I'm just gonna... Oh, Haywire Might, without any green available. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for Citadel this turn. I have the top in my hand. Should do it. And Manifold Key is literally in play. I could also just Time Vault and win that way. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, in my end step, or in your end step, whoever's turn this is, it's when I'm doing stuff. I get Underground Sea, and Mystical Tutor or Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt's on top of my deck. Lightning Bolt targeting Collector Oof. Play Urza Saga, and Hope you don't have Force of Vigor blue card as your 2 cards in hand. This is the line I'm taking. No green up. Elvish Spirit Guide gets me here. So hope you don't have that. I'm Vault. And I'll untap target artifact. How'd we do? And we did it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with just being a deck that can vintage versus a deck that can't vintage. They had a great start. They deployed some fast mana before I got my Twister off. They followed it up with 8-piece plus clock and then multiple more hate pieces and just, died. Welcome to Vintage. On to the next round. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the draw in round 4 with a powerful but risky hand. In turn 1 Twister, I'm going to keep it. This Citadel isn't going anywhere fast. And if I draw Mana Crypt, I can just play Citadel on turn 1 and skip the time Twister. Oh no, it shops. A Vault, please play Golos and pass. Golos and pass. Oh, are we fucking dead? Oh no. Oh no. Not like this. Okay, alright. Yikes. I mean, still scary, but I'll take a key. What's up? The Mightstone and the Weakstone. Draw 2 cards. And this taps for 2 that can't be cast. Alright, it's a double Power Stone. You draw 2 cards and then double Power Stone. Got it. 3 mana available. And cast Boundary Inspector. Are we dead? I know this is a combo deck that exists, and I've seen a lot of crazy turn 1 screenshots. I just hope we're not in one of those games right now. Then Divining Top. This is actually awful because I kind of don't even want to Twister this opponent now. Oh, they're drawing with top. Playing Grim Monolith. Good for 3 mana with Foundry Inspector that can cast Mystic Forge, but didn't have it. I'd be equally busted here. Well, the Tinker would be cool, except that the Citadel's in my hand. I could Demonic Tutor for something that costs 2 or less. The Citadel being in my hand. Opponent said Island Ponder. Not quite. My hand is effing Busto. It's just, is it effing Busto enough? I could just twist to see where it goes, try to come up with a Force of Will, but giving this opponent with this start 7 fresh ones, pops on top of their deck, and they have a shitload of mana. Demonic Tutor for a Braid could take out Foundry Inspector, but then what? We're just hanging out. I almost want a Demonic Tutor for Brainstorm to get rid of the Citadel, but Time Twister also gets rid of the Citadel. I think I'm just going to Lotus Twister, and the question is, do I play a fetch land first to get my mana set up, or play to the possibility that I draw Academy? I think I play my fetch land first. Off we go. Time Twister time. Time Vault. Merchant Scroll, but no blue card. Ugh. I feel like we're dead. Yeah, I'd love to Merchant Scroll for Force of Will here and try to slow things down, but I don't think I get to do that. Yeah, I'm going to fetch, and I don't have a Mindbreak Trap in my main deck. Sometimes you do. I'm going to get Volcanic Island, play my Time Vault and pass, and just hope I'm not dead, but I feel like I am. 7 fresh cards, jeez. On the play, though, getting to just spin away a shop hand. Yeah, this is just big play draw. Force a mulligan on them while I get to deploy fast mana and they don't. But welcome to shops. Welcome to Vintage. Sensei's top was recovered from the Time Twister. Winning the top. If they find Mystic Forge, they win. There's some new card from Brothers War that I've seen Ganari and Jarvis tweeting about. I expect we'll see it at some point in this match. I don't exactly know what it does, but I probably should going into Eternal Weekend. This is why we test. Manifold Key. There's tons of mana. Tons more mana. Drawing with the top and untapping the top. This is a trick where you get to draw multiple cards. You draw the top card of your deck, and then you also draw Sensei's top. Oh, they're going in for 3. Cool. Drawing 3 cards here. And the top is free with Foundry Inspector. This is just divination trick. It did spend all the keys. They can replay top, take another look. My hand isn't exactly ready to bust here. Another Mightstone. This is a legend. They don't get 2 of those, but they do get to draw 2. I'm just going to F6 and let them know the coast is clear. I'm not bluffing anything at this point. There's top. Activate the top. 5 mana still available. With Foundry Inspector, that could be some unbound number. Double Foundry Inspector with 5 actual mana. Crazy. Another key. You can draw a bunch more cards or make a bunch more mana. And the card draw trick. So they put a draw, then a spin. So they drew a card. Now they're looking at their top 3. They can get rid of the top if they want to and draw a different card from among those 3. Fence grid. Yeah, right. Like I had counterspells in my hand. Top's back. Top got activated. Top's back. Top got activated. Okay, so you're just building Storm. You're not actually going through the deck here. If you have 2 tops that you're bouncing back and forth. Okay, we're moving to combat. Survived that. I am not going to skip my turn to untap Time Vault. Axion Probe. Okay, you don't actually have any spheres in play. Probe. Rarely good spot. The rarely seen good spot. But your hand is full of lands, and I just drew Mental Misstep for your Sensei's top. That's kind of shitty. I think I'm going to Ancestral here. 6 damage, 7/8. I'm not dead yet. I'm setting up Mental Misstep to fight this top, but I know they have a second top on top, right? Yeah, okay, that doesn't actually do anything. Yeah, I think I need to Merchant Scroll. So if I scroll for Brain Freeze, then just try to win next turn, that's a way to go. They're going to search their deck or just draw a lot of cards? I think I'm just going to... Oh, right, they have Defense Grid. The Mental Misstep doesn't matter. I'm going to Ancestral and hope it works. This Ancestral Recall into my hand. Draw some cards. There's Dak Faden, and not looking good. They get another turn with all the shit they just did. They have top and 3 keys right now. A lot of redraws, a lot of looks. They do have a Mana Vault and a Mana Crypt. They also have Urza Saga, so they do have Time Vault in their deck. Then I'm dead way before Mana Crypt could kill them to the Saga. Doing the top trick. I'm going to draw a bunch of cards here. So if I Pithing Needle Divining Top this deck, it's a lot worse. Just thinking about my sideboard plan already. They did 3 draws with a spin after the first draw. And top's back. Sapphire. I didn't know about that one. That's fine. Any card they play that isn't one of the lands that I saw and doesn't kill me is good news. Okay, this is the new card. We're going to read this one together. Sacrifice another artifact. Reveal the top 8 cards of your library. Put up to 2 non-creature artifact cards of total mana value less than or equal to the sacrifice artifact mana value from among them onto the battlefield and the rest of the bottom of your library in any order. Or a random order. Okay, so you Smelting Vat to try to hit the Mystic Forge, and then you win. They sacked a Mightstone. What came into play? There's the Mystic Forge. But this is moving too quickly. I'm not even sure what's happening right now. These are all the cards they've revealed. And the Mystic Forge did go past, but they sacked Grim Monolith, so they got a 1-drop instead of a Forge. And now the Forge is in the bottom 8 cards of their deck. You only get one of those in the format. To go through your whole deck again. But Manifold Key, untapping, Smelting Vat. That's how this works. What they're trying to do. And I guess you just smelt away 1 and 2 drops. Ooh. Oh, they had 2 defense grids. Or no, they sacked a Foundry Inspector and did not find anything super helpful there. Oh wait, they found Time Vault. What the fuck am I talking about? I'm dead. Yeah, they can stack the Mana Crypt to a Smelting Vat at any time, and now I'm just dead to Time Vault. No, we're good. Good, I get it. I see. Well, Urkel's Recall's coming in. Bifrost is coming in, Lightning Bolt's coming in, Pithing Needle's coming in. Pyroblast, Flusterstorm going out. Mental Misstep actually much better against this deck than it is against normal Shops decks because Sensei's Top and all those keys are all important part of their plan. I'm leaving in Mental Misstep. Braid Breach. They're fine. Tinker, of course. Composition Agent. We didn't really see any searching, just flipping. I think I'm going to do this. I don't think I need Sphinx because they're not really prisoning me. Good Alpine Moon for Saga or Shop. There's not really cards I need out of my deck at this point. Let's try it like this. A Force of Will and a Biforce. Force theme deck here. I'm going to keep the strength of these cards. I'm going to play Urza Saga and Mox Ruby and pass. Urza Saga, Mox Ruby. Wish this was Mox Sapphire so I could time walk straight into the Saga. But let's see if we can stuff this with a Force plus removal spell. Start. Well, okay. Melting Vat is here already. I'm gonna let that happen. Sack Mana Vault, revealing. They hit Mana Crypt, Lotus Petal, and Mox Opal. Oh, any number. Put up to 2 non-creature artifacts. Total mana. Oh, okay, you can get 2. I get it. That's cool. So this Foundry Inspector is hitting the stack. I can Biforce 2 things next turn. I don't think I'm ready to Force of Will. It's playing Mega Chicken. I would love to draw a Mox or Mana Vault or Soul Ring and just accelerate this Biforce, or Black Lotus, folks. You know about that card? Okay. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in play. I can make 3, 4, 5, 6. I can just delete their board and Saga stuff next turn. 1, 2, 4, 5. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Biforce 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Goodbye, your board. Let's hope that was good enough. Oh, this deck looks super busted. It could easily just rebuild here. This one, or once again, maybe Urza Saga just tutors for. Yeah, Urza Saga is going to get Pithing Needle, naming Smelting Vat, and I'm going to save my Force of Will and my Time Walk. Let's continue tempting fate. Generate a way to win the game. Get Pithing Needle, name Smelting Vat. In my land and pass the turn. How do you do versus a Pithing Needle? Vault Monolith, I don't think I care about that. Manifold Key, neat. That gives me extra power and toughness. And I'm not going to Time Walk because I think Force of Will is more important. If I draw a mana source next turn where I can Time Walk into untapped Force, or if it's just lethal next turn, that works too. If I find an artifact and can attack for 10. Whitestone and Weakstone. This can kill my construct. Yeah, I think it's time to interact. Force of Will. See if my patience paid off. Oh, Pithing Needle. That's a good one too. Pithing Needle. Do I name Urza Saga or Sensei's Top? I think it's Urza Saga. They couldn't block anyway because they had Manifold Key. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to name something else. Alright, let's hope I'm not dead here. The second Pithing Needle, if I lose this game, would have been the spot where I lost it. Okay. Turns out Biforce for 5 on turn 2. Pretty respectable. I feel like I want this Alpine Moon. If I stuff the combo, then Urza Saga is their plan. Ballbreacher actually dumpsters this deck with all their top tricks. In the Vat stuff, it doesn't do anything against, but the Sensei's Top part of the deck completely roughed up by that. I've not seen a Wasteland out of them yet, so this is more of a combo deck than a denial deck. I could cut this basic island like I would against any other deck without Wasteland. Okay, I'm going to try it. Alpine Moon is in. I have Force Blue card, and then Pithing Needle. I don't love this hand, but I am going to keep it. It has enough going for it that I'm cool. There's a Saga. Come on, Red Source. Mox Emerald. Red Monolith. Okay. Mox Sapphire. You got it. Come on, red source, red source, red source, fetch land, red source. Shit. Okay, I don't want to have to needle Urza Saga, because that's also what my deck is doing. But I think I'm going to lose if I don't. Yuck. Okay, I mean, I think I'm priced in here. Ox Pearl, Urza Saga, here. Pithing Needle, name Urza Saga, Mega Tilt with the Alpine Moon right there in my hand. I could name the Vat and just accept the beats here, but I don't even have a mana source to put blockers in front of their things. Yeah, we're gonna play in the dirt here. That my blue deck can outperform the colorless deck when our premier land doesn't function. Manifold Key resolves. Time Vault does not resolve. Yeesh. Oh, I should have pitched Narset. Damn it. Yeah, Mystical Tutor is probably better than Narset in this matchup. Ancestral Recall, that's a good card. Maybe someday. They get to search now. They find Sensei's Top. They get to get an engine online. Yep, Sensei's Top it is. Narset does help with that. Let's hope they pass the turn right now, and I get to tutor my Black Lotus and try to make something out of this game. Yeah, they can do top tricks. They just drew one card, though. They found the Vat. You know they'll see at least Sensei's Top off of sacking Grim Monolith here. Grim Monolith and Key. And keep going if they want. Or there's two keys. Manifold Key in the top. And this game brought to you by no red source in my opening hand. Salt Monolith, that's a pretty big one to sacrifice to that. Got Lotus Petal and Divining Top. That was actually a whiff for the most part. The top that they knew that was there in Lotus Petal isn't that exciting. This is being drawn again. They can Vat at least one more time with what we see on board. And a Vault and Grim Monolith. Okay, they can Vat another time here, and then they're out of keys for now. If they sack Grim Monolith, they can hit top and another key. They found Moxjet, Mana Crypt, and two Foundry Inspectors. There's a defense grid there. I think it's clear I don't have that sort of interaction, though. Top and Jet. Spinning top again. They're out of keys, out of smelts. Okay, we're getting a turn. I hope that I draw a blue source and I can tutor up Needle. Ugh. Okay. Well, that's actually not the worst. Okay. I'm going to float a blue and tutor up Black Lotus. Then I'm going to make blue, blue, blue and Ancestral Recall. Gotta get something going here. Pretty good. I found the Pithing Needle. And I get to do a cool thing here where if I needle a top in response, I can Hull Breach the top and then also still... Anything else I want to do this turn? Okay, they were just F6'd. If I turn off Melting Vat, and I don't really care about top anymore, Hull Breacher. Okay, suddenly feeling good. That was scary for a while, but they can't smelt, they can't saga, they can spin top, but they can't draw with it. And I have force backup. I did not come up with a land in that Ancestral, so I'm playing on Mox Pearl and a Prayer. They did not untap their Mana Vault, even though they have tons of mana to do so. That's scary. What did you draw? That's not a free roll. Another Vat. That's already turned off. I don't care. You can have it. All right, let the beatdowns commence. Circles Recall. If I ever find that blue source, we're in business. Here comes Hull Breacher. Probably untap that. There you go. Okay. They're done taking 4 a turn, down to 3. And they know what they're drawing because they saw it last turn with top. Hitting top now. Hitting Needle. Okay, that resolves. Name Scalding Tarn or Time Vault, sure. Right. Pretty far away from doing anything here. Just need a blue land, a blue source, a Mox. Not even going to play that because it might kill me before I kill my opponent. If I'm at risk of going to discard, I'll play that. But right now, it's going to stay in my hand. Spinning top again. For Monolith, I do not care. I care about so little right now. It's good. It's a good feeling. I'm Twister. Well, if I ever find the blue mana we're in business on that one. I've got the Hull Breacher in play. And I could play out this Mana Crypt, or I could just go to discard. I don't think they're going to punish a Mana Crypt being in play too much. Yeah, I'm not going to discard a card when I'm at 19 life. Hopping in the upkeep, it's the same 3 cards you saw last turn. But getting into an upkeep top rotation, at least you can that. Alright, well, playing out the Mana Crypt is actually good there, because now I can Force of Will. Crypt flipped. Are we doing here? Lost the flip. Can I draw a land? Blue land. Any blue land at all. Oh my god, we did it. Okay, that should end the game. I mean, they're already hellbent, but getting a fresh hand. I get to Time Walk here. Okay. Land, Time Walk. Start with that. We'll go to my bonus turn. Taking bonus damage from Crypt. Didn't lose that flip. Okay. Attack for 3 again. And does Herking them do anything? I could just Twister, collect my treasures. That seems like it's worth doing. And losing the Force of Will when they're hellbent and can't really do anything, I don't think that even matters. Yeah, they're at 2 and can't do anything. I'm just going to hold on to Force of Will in my hand and pass here. At the time, Hull Breacher combo, didn't even want it. Mystic Forge, that was a good draw. First by pitching Narset and 3 mana. All right, cool. That's a crazy deck, and just learning what its stress points are in game 1, I was able to pick it apart in games 2 and 3. That was scary though. A really good deck. On to the final round. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. I'm on the draw in the final round. Did I get a single die roll this league? I don't remember. Maybe 1, but I've been on the draw a lot. Turn 1 Demonic Tutor is pretty stacked. Turn 2 DAC. I'm going to keep this. We might get dumpstered. It doesn't have any free interaction, but it is solid if my opponent's doing anything remotely fair. Well, they have 2 Moxen. We'll find out soon. Oh, well, fuck me. That Flooded Strand go. Like, just another round against Shops. Shops is super popular and super powerful. Oh, we are also under Crucible and Sorcerer's Spyglass. Well, I better fetch then. Get my basic. Yeah, Shops is good, and I do own Mishra's Workshops, but I played Shops at Eternal Weekend 1 time instead of a blue deck, and I was just miserable. Had no fun. That's not an indictment on Shops players. It's just not for me. Back Faden. Yep. A card that you're likely to blind name anyway. And we're dead. I'm not going to try to wade through this Wasteland Crucible Trinisphere situation. We forced the Trinisphere. That game's fine, but didn't have it. Like I said, might get dumpstered. Welcome to Vintage. I'm going to bring in the Shops package that we've brought in so far. I think I like Alpine Moon as just part of the standard Shops package. I don't know if I brought it in against all the decks. I think I just started doing it last round. Fluster, Fluster. Narset is worse than Hull Breacher in this matchup. And I gotta figure out one more. I already cut the obvious ones. And maybe it's just another Hull Breacher. Deck doesn't draw cards. Having something that engages in combat is nice, but whatever. Oh, Opposition Agent. Oh, I think they search their deck more than they draw cards. Both are kind of low incidents, but they are present. On the play. Oh, I just get to turn 1 Bolas' Citadel, my Shop's opponent. I'll keep. We can take turns vintaging each other. I hate that I have to use my land drop, and let's hope that doesn't punish me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Black. No land on top. Give me some gas. Shit. Well, I could abrade my Mana Crypt, or I could just pass the turn and abrade whatever they do. Don't like this. I'm just gonna pass. Hold up the abrade. reactive spells in your turn 1 combo deck. Sucks to suck. Okay, that's actually fine. I'm going to go to my upkeep and abrade this for 1 mana. Oh, let's let Crypt flip first. Won the flip, that's good news. And then abrade the Sphere. Then I draw Force of Will. Make my land drop. Okay, they're good. They don't even care. Yep, deal. All right. We took turns turn one-ing each other, effectively. And now I have to win a game on the draw. My game plan doesn't really change. I'm not bringing in ley lines for Crucible of Worlds. I don't think that's where I want to be. So I'm going to hit submit. Force of Will, Dak Faden. Let's go. That's what I want to see in matchups like this one. When I kept 7. Hard mode. Moxjet, Workshop. And Mystic Forge. Yeah. I believe that one has to be countered, even though it's not a lock piece in the way that I want to fight against. Mana Crypt, Sensei's top, activate Sensei's top, Biforce on top. That looks good. Put Biforce on top and play my Delta. Sort of Spyglass, fuck. It resolves. You can hit my Delta. You're going to name Dak anyway, and Biforce is going to clear it anyway. Resolves. I just don't care about that. There's nothing clever to be done with it. And Crucible. Okay, they have Wasteland Crucible going, but I'm about to hear their business anyway. Heads won the flip. And it's gonna Biforce their whole board. And fetching here, I guess I have to. It exposes me if Wasteland is the other card in their hand. But gotta do what I gotta do. I guess the other thing I could have done was deploy Dak this turn, just let it sit and play, and then Biforce them and take their Crucible next turn. Maybe that would have been the smarter thing to do. Or yeah, they do have the double Wasteland. Don't have another Crucible, please. Lost the flip. Gonna top in my upkeep. Try to get this Dak going. Dig Through Time, Hurkyl's Recall, Fetch Land. I like all of those things. They know my hand is Underground Sea Dak Faden. Oh. 6 mana spell. Golos, sure. Get to tutor a land, and then I get to take Golos. Let's get Saga here. Brachis. Okay, and then I don't get to take Golos, because then they put it back in their hand. Alright, that was smart. What do I do about this? Do I just plus stack? Yeah, I'm actually just losing this game. Or falling behind quickly in it. Dig Through Time. I make Dak Fade in here with my last red source. I can Dak first, or I can top first. I think I want to top first. If I just hit Tinker here. Okay. Manifold Key. Fetch land. I like... whoops. I control see this. Nope. Okay. I forgot. Oh no, I'm going to steal Golos. That's what I'm going to do. Red. Dak Faden. I'm going to spend a turn stealing Golos. Make them bounce it, replay it. And then I dig through time and try to pull ahead somehow. Yep. Golos is back. That's a cool engine. One got the Saga. Oh no, a spell. Null Rod, come the fuck on. That's so shitty. Alright. Well, now we're gonna lose. I gotta find a Hurkyl's Recall, like fucking yesterday. There is the fetch land. Hurkyl's Recall. I could dig through time first. I think I want to leave red up, though. I'm gonna shuffle. Get Underground Sea. Cast Dig Through Time. Found Tinker. Is that even good? I could get Sphinx, and then what that situation looks like. Turn out. Played my land already this turn. Hull Breacher plus Dak, but I'm not going to have Dak. Had them, this Null Rod getting me real good. Lightning Bolt. That does kill the first construct that's going to try to come out. But not if they have any other artifact. Definitely getting the Tinker. And it's probably just Hull Breacher to start moving in a direction of Force Blue card. Deck, target myself. Drew the damn Sphinx. Are you kidding? Are you kidding right now? Well, we've lost. Yeah, I need to clear Null Rod. I have to draw Hurkyl's Recall next turn, and then I'm still just dead. I have to save the key. Through the Sphinx, come on. Alright, I'll discard Hull Breacher, play Manifold Key, and try to draw Hurkyl's Recall and set up a win. But it's not even really there. That Null Rod, man. Using every card in their hand to exactly do all the things they wanted to do. This is vintage, folks. Game of Inches. The spells are powerful, but it also frequently comes down to just one mana here or one draw step there, one life point somewhere. They are at least attacking Dak, but that doesn't matter because the Saga will be lethal. They're just cranking out Golos activations anyway. Okay, Hurkyl's Recall is the only draw in my deck, but it does win the game. Hurkyl's? No. And we're dead on board. Yeah, if I Hurks, I bounce the Golos, Tinker. Oh, I'm actually a mana short of Hurking for the win. Yeah, I guess we didn't win the game there. But yeah, we're dead anyway. And the Sphinx in my graveyard can't even put it in front of these creatures, which would have been great. It was the line I was playing towards. You got me. That went wrong in a variety of different ways. Okay, a 3-2 result. I did like the breach that came up once. I did like the creatures. They came up once or twice. Tinker's obviously busted. We did some Citadel stuff. The Sphinx never got a chance to come up. I boarded it in a couple times, but the one game where I would have enjoyed having it, it was in my graveyard through no fault of my own. Worth noting, though, if I hadn't drawn Sphinx, they would have made a 4/4 construct, 5/5 construct, tutored up 6/6, and I am big enough to fight through that where they just go wide around Blightsteel and kill me through it. Yeah, Sphinx would have been the better monster in exactly that situation that I was just in 1 second ago. I do notice this build doesn't have any graveyard stuff in the Saga package, like no Soul Guide Lantern. It's just all in on Leyline and Tabernacle to beat the Bazaar decks. And it has Pithing Needles to name Bazaar, but no like turn 1 Saga, let's get to the Tormod script kind of moments, which I have had in other decks. Yeah, I like this. It's a powerful vintage deck. All our games were close, and that's all I want. I want a chance to interact and make decisions, and this deck does provide them. A couple times the Brain Freeze was just in our hand, and it wasn't very good. That's the only cost of adding a Breach package to your deck, those 2 cards that aren't very good on their own. You can get a value Breach where you just cast Breach and then Ancestral twice and pass the turn, and you're very happy with that. But there's no value Brain Freeze. That's not a thing. Unless your opponent, unless like Storm is 20 and your opponent just cast Ancestral Recall targeting themselves, maybe there's a value Brain Freeze, but that's not really a thing. I will be looking very closely at this list. By the time you're all watching this video, I will be well into Eternal Weekend, hopefully 2 or 3 rounds in after this video. If you watch this video right at release and then at normal speed, I hope I'm in round 2 or 3 by now. And if you're watching this between rounds at Eternal Weekend, come say hi. Otherwise, thank you for watching from wherever you are and whenever you're watching it. Heinz, thank you for the opportunity to test for this tournament on the channel. I appreciate you for supporting the channel, and I appreciate everybody who's here watching. If you appreciate the content, check out the Patreon and all the other stuff that supports the channel in the video description, and I'll see you for the next video.